So there are three brothers, the Skoda Kodiaq, the Skoda Kamiq, and then we have the little one, the Skoda Kamiq. So let's have a look at what this brother is offering. So the Skoda Kamiq has different variations of options you can choose. So there's an entry level like this one, and you also have a sportier model and a business model. I think all of the cars look pretty smart. It's not the nicest Skoda they make, but all of them do get the nice LED headlights, so that's not an option you can upgrade to or downgrade from. So it's just one thing overall, which looks nice. If we have a look, it has the iconic Skoda grille, which almost all of these Skodas have nowadays. And the bumpers in the front and in the back are painted in the same color. So that's pretty nice. They haven't cheaped out on that one, even though it is a cheaper model. The Skoda Kamiq comes with 16-inch alloy wheels. The design is pretty basic, but this specific model is also basic. And on the cheapest model you also get 16-inch alloys, but they just look way worse than this one. If you upgrade to the sport model or the Monte Carlo model as they name it, you do have a bit nicer wheels, and you can also upgrade from a couple different options. So looking at the side of the Skoda Kamiq, it isn't something very different than the other models. In this case we don't have electric mirrors, so these are just the standard foldable ones. You have roof racks. Why? Because it's a small SUV, which doesn't function as an SUV and also doesn't look like an SUV, not even a small one. But that's besides the point. There's one secret which Skoda keeps at the side of this car, and this is inside the gas tank or gas door. We have a scratcher for if it's winter and your windows are frozen over, and then you can, you know how to use one. So coming to the back of the Skoda Kamiq, it isn't an ugly car. It also isn't the nicest car if you look at the category in which it's in. If you have to compare it to something like a Volkswagen Taygo or the T-Cross or T-Roc, if you want to compare it to that, this does look less sporty. It isn't bad, it looks smart, and that has something going for it. All of the models do. This model has the standard tail lights, which you don't get the dynamic light in. It's just only this small one which blinks. It's not bad, but the dynamic ones do look a little bit better. You get your Skoda lettering, window wiper at the back, and this one also has like a tiny little spoiler. If I'm not mistaken, the sport model has a bit of a bigger spoiler, and it has one of these not functioning diffuser, lookalike diffuser things. So you have that going for it. Don't exactly know what the reason for this was, but it looks smart. Let's keep it at that. The booth is the booth. One thing which I don't like is this. Why? Why couldn't they just make the places for your hand? You can get it with an electrically operated tailgate, only this entry-level model doesn't get it. And if I'm not mistaken, it fits. All right. Cool, so sitting in the back of the Skoda Kamiq, it is something which is very positive in my opinion. You have a lot of room in this car, more than I expected. I have a lot of knee room, a lot of headroom. You have lights in the back, which some of the cars from these price points don't have. We don't have an armrest in the back. There isn't so much to say. We do have some air conditioning vents. You can get USB-C chargers and heated seats in the back. You can stretch out very nice. Only one thing, guys. You're paying a bit of a premium for this car, and you're getting this. We're still doing this in 2024. The car is from 23, but 23, 24, we're still doing this. It's a joke, man. Getting in the front of the Skoda Kamiq, there are a couple of things we can have a look at. The steering wheel looks nice. It's the same as in the Kamiq and the Kodiaq. Some other things we can see in the car. It doesn't have the automatically dimming mirror. We have a really small screen, which looks almost stupid in this car, but it works with Apple CarPlay, so it looks nice. Instead of climate control, we have these standard aircon buttons and a very large shifter, which if you get your phone and put it right here and you want to take it out, it doesn't really work. Yeah, you can get it from the side, but if you have a cable plugged in for the Apple CarPlay or you're just charging your phone, you just can't get it out, so good job, guys. So the Skoda Kamiq has one more secret, but before I show you, you have to like and subscribe right now, otherwise I won't show you. I'm still waiting. We got the luxury of a Rolls Royce with a budget of a Skoda. Tell mama we made it. It's time to take it for a drive. I talked about the gear shifter, it's a bit weird. You can put it in manual if you want, drive, sport, you can see it changing over here. This one doesn't have the digital dash, this one has the analog dials. The steering wheel is nice. I don't know why, but we don't have lights in visors. And we do have a place for your sunglasses, so that's really nice. Let's get started. So as you can see, all the buttons here are empty. We only have the start-stop, which we can shut off. But talking about the comfort of the Skoda Kamiq, it's better than I expected. Steering is nice, it's light. Brake pedal is a bit mushy though, so half of the brake pedal is barely doing anything, and then the last 50% is kind of stopping the car. So it doesn't give a lot of confidence while driving. Furthermore, the car has a 1 liter 3-cylinder petrol engine which puts out 110 horsepower, which is fine for this car. It does 0 to 60 in about 10 or so seconds. It's fine. It doesn't lack speed, I would say. It's just the connection between all the components isn't good. So the responsiveness of the engine, the gas pedal and the gearbox is really bad, and especially the gearbox. And that's the way I get a feel for it, because it's either you drive very slow or it's just going balls to the wall and giving everything that it has. Because we're now driving in drive, and that's kind of like driving in comfort, so it shifts up as fast as it can, as eco-friendly as it can. And if we press it again, it goes into S, which is for sport, and then it kind of gets like in a comfort modus, I would say. Skoda calls it sport, so it will shift at 3000 RPM instead of 2000 RPM, and that's the sport mode. Furthermore, there isn't anything to it. The steering doesn't get heavier, gas response doesn't get better, and still in sport mode it still tries to be eco-friendly, so it will still shift as soon as it can. And when you give full throttle in sport mode, it still kicks down and goes faster. Like, what's the point of sport mode? So let's see what the 0 to 60 does. Putting it in sport. Let's go. So it doesn't make a lot of noise. It isn't very fast. It does take a while, but it isn't bad. It isn't bad. For the kind of car it is, it's nice. Look, if I keep my foot down, it shifts down 5th, 6th, eventually 7th, but it will stay around the 2 to 3000 RPM range, and then we can just put it back in drive, and then it goes fully slowpoke mode. When I just want to overtake someone and give a little bit more throttle just to overtake someone, I just don't want it to up, fourth, and then, because you're like rocking inside the car, and it isn't very nice for the driving experience. So they could fix that. But overall, if you're going 1 speed using the cruise control that the car has, it's nice. I saw that it also has an eco modus, so if you let the car coast, it'll go into neutral, which is even more eco-friendly, and then when I give a little bit of gas, it goes into gear again. Furthermore, it's a very okay car. It's comfortable to drive. It's very nice over bumps and things in the road. Way better than I expected, so the suspension is nice. Yet again, better than I expected. We have this small armrest. I don't know why they chose to use a normal parking brake instead of an e-brake. Just as mentioned, the car drives fine. For the money that you're paying for it, for the options and the top secrets which you are getting, it's a nice car. I don't really have a lot to complain. For the money and the kind of luxury you expect for a small SUV kind of thing, it's okay. It drives comfortable. It should have a little bit more standard options, like for electrically operated windows and the lights in the window visors, but except from that, I don't really have a lot of complaint. Yeah, I don't like the gearbox, but it comes down to personal preference. From the outside, it isn't the prettiest. It's looking smart, but it's not very sporty or very pretty. If you maybe pull up to a work meeting, people are like, yeah, it's a nice car, it looks smart, but other than that, it doesn't really look that sporty. The Rolls-Royce umbrella is nice, so you got that going for you. So in the lineup of 3 cars, the Skoda Kamiq is the smallest one, but I wouldn't say the worst one, and I wouldn't count it out. It looks smart, but I do think there are better options on the market.